Hello guys, Wisfi here. Today I'm going to have a look at Unraid 6.12. The RC5 has been out for quite some time. It came out on May the 1st. It's May the 13th. But they said they expected the stable in a couple of days. It's been 12-13 days now. No word about it, so I decided it's weekend. Let's have a review. This will be a live recording. I'm just going through the patch notes. Comparing the old and the new version. There will be a lot of cars passing by, so a lot of background noise. The neighbors decided to start hammering, so sorry for that. Might also give an indication about how I record my upcoming tutorial videos and how much work actually goes into it, because I have to filter out all the cars and keep re-recording the sound. Anyway, let's dive into the 6.12 now. So what I did is I took 6.11.5, the current latest stable one, in a virtual machine, and I upgraded one to 6.12.0 RC5, and then we can compare it. So let's go over the first thing that I instantly noticed, because if you start up, you go to the main tab, and I noticed they moved these icons. They used to be all the way on the right. If you click it, you can see what's on the disk. And now they are at the front. I guess that's nice if you are browsing on mobile. I used to do that sometimes where I would check disk quick on my mobile phone. And it used to be really annoying in the back. That being said, we have more plugins now. We have tools. I'm not sure how much I'll be using that feature. But just so you know, they changed that, they moved it around, and maybe that's useful for you. So let's look at the logs, the information that they posted. 6.12 is, according to them, the big ZFS feature. So ZFS is another way to create a data storage. Currently we have like the array, which is just a bunch of normal disks in a specific format. By default it goes to XFS, but there were multiple options to pick from. To show you, I'll have to stop the array, and then we can pick the file format. Again, this is on the 6.11.5 that I'm showing this, just so you can see what it currently looks like. So we could pick for XFS, ButterFS, WiserFS, and those three as encrypted. By default it goes to XFS. For the cache, basically the same, it always goes to ButterFS if you have 2 or more disks. For one you could pick like normal disk. For ButterFS, WiserFS or XFS. That's the reason I didn't add a cache on the other one yet, because I want to see what it will default at now. While we're at it, might as well stop the array here. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna restart this one. For some more testing I will have to stop them down in a bit. Anyway, let's add the pool with 2 disks. This is the latest, the release candidate with the 6.12. And I'm going to add the 2 disks that I prepared for the cache. I have a whole lot more just for some testing. Figured it doesn't hurt to have them. They are virtual devices anyway. So the file system is on auto. Let's start it up. And let's have a look what it does with it, where it goes. Does it still go to ButterFS? Does it pick ZFS now? And it goes for ButterFS, just like it used to in the past. Okay, that's good. So let's go through the patch notes. 6.12.0 with ZFS, new customizable dashboard, bug fixes and kernel updates. Information that you always have to back up your flash, check that all your plugins are actually compatible, and to upgrade the plugins, how you have to upgrade to the latest version, including information for 6.4 and even pre 6.4. So that's great support from the Unraid guys. Thanks a lot. Information about the ZFS pools. New in this release is the ability to create ZFS file systems. I'm not a big ZFS fan. I like Unraid because of the specific way how it deals with data, how you can set up your current array. But I'm happy we get ZFS support because I can see some uses in addition to what we already have. Then again, they say they are splitting the ZFS implementation across 2 Unraid OS releases, meaning we get the very basic in 6.12 with RAID C mirror, RAID C 123, RAID 0 mirror, and RAID C 123, which is basically 1 copy, 2 copy, and 3 copy, I believe, with support for up to 4 devices. Again, no ZFS user. So I'm not really sure what that means, if that is a technical limitation from ZFS or from Unraid. Same here, removing a single disk, replacing a single disk. Not really a clue. You can rename the pool, which is nice. Non-root VDEVs cannot be created but can be imported. No clue what non-root is. I'll have to dig it up before I create a video on it. I'll be doing some more testing and I'll keep you guys updated. Someone else with more ZFS knowledge might be able to tell you. For now, it's just nice to know that there is ZFS. Let's have a look how we can create one. Let's go to the 6.12.0 and then we should be able to stop the array again. So again, yeah, I'm not really hyped about ZFS at the moment, mostly because of the part that they are splitting it across 2 Unraid releases. So I'll be touching it, I'll be looking into it, I'll be trying it, but I think I personally will be waiting for 6.13 to really start using it to its fullest potential. Anyway, let's add a pool here. Let's call it ZFS1, because who knows how many we're gonna test. I want to try it with 4 disks. Okay, it won't allow me to do that, but I can go with ZFS. Cool. So, oh yeah, because all the disks will be labeled technically ZFS1, ZFS2, 3, 4. That's why we couldn't pick one. If I click on that one, I should be able to set the file system and I'll pick ZFS. And here we can go for mirror, apparently. That's not what I want. Maybe I should assign the disks first so it knows what to do with it. So just for a little test, because apparently ZFS can also handle SSDs, what I did is I made 3 identical normal SATA virtual disks, of course. And then I added a way smaller little NVMe disk, also virtual, but I want to see what it would do with it. So technically what it should do in a full release is it makes a pool of those 3 and then uses this for smart caching. But my understanding is, since full support is only 6.13 and now is the very basic, it will just make a ZFS with 4 devices. We can turn on compression. That's not needed, but okay. Auto trim. Yeah, there's an NVMe in there. so we can trim it and apply. So as I was saying, my expected result would have been like a pool with the size of 2 disks. So I know that it will always take your smallest disk to base its storage on, which in this case would be the 10 gigabyte, 10 gigabyte one. But I wanted it to take those 3 and take 1 for parity. So we I know it works differently internally, but in terms of Unraid, we would end up with about 100 gigabyte of storage with 10 gigabyte of smart caching, is what I was hoping. Since I did put it on RAID Z2 at this moment, I expect we will be seeing, let's have a look. I expect it will base the entire size on this 10 gigabyte and it will take 2 parity, meaning that we will see about 20 gigabyte of storage for this pool. So let's have a look, let's start it up. And let's see where it takes us. So here is the pool. Of course, we do have to format it. Very important to read that on your live machine. Since I'm on a virtual machine, I don't care. There's no data on there. There's nothing to be lost. So it's all good. It's formatting the devices in the pool. And what do we end up with? It's starting the services. And as I expected, we end up with a pool with about 20 gigabytes. So that's not what I actually want. Let's proceed and show you how you should be using the ZFS at this point in time then, without smart caching. Again, not a ZFS professional. I might be totally wrong with this. This is just testing from my end. So first I have to set all the devices to no over here. No. No. And then I should be able to click here and delete the pool. Now we can add it again, call it ZFS. This time around I'm only going to add 3 disks. Add. Actually, can I change it in here? No. So that's one of the disadvantages of ZFS. You tell it like, here's 3 disks, use 3 disks, and you can never go to 4, 5. It's there to stay. So let me remove that one. Add pool ZFS. I still want to do 4 just to see with ZFS with bigger files and how RAID Z2 works. So I'm just going to assign, for fun and giggles, I'm going to throw in a 64 and a 75 just to see how it will respond to mixed sizes. No. Click on the ZFS. Put the file system back onto ZFS. Make it a RAID Z2. 1 group, 4 devices. Apply. And call that done. Start up my array again like last time. Again, sorry for all the cars passing by. In my tutorial videos I have to stop recording, cut out the piece, re-record over and over and over. So that gets really annoying really fast. I think it's messing up over here, but that doesn't matter really. So it's also going to format my cache pool at the moment. And there we are. Sorry about that. The ZFS pool is created, it's formatting it. And as I said, this time it will be about 100 gigabyte as expected. This is now configured to be like double parity. It works differently with striping and everything, but 2 disks can fail and it should still work. Okay, so that's CFS. We have a CFS pool. It tells us it is CFS over here. And for the rest, for us, nothing really changes. It's just like any other pool that we have. But maybe there's some other changes to how pools work. We'll have a look at that. So the dashboard, they also did a lot of changes to the dashboard. So let's have a look at it. This is the 6.12 one. In my opinion, it looks way cleaner. I don't know why. This looks wider on the 6.11. Like the columns look neater. It's hard for me to really tell, but it's, yeah, they remove those, make it smaller buttons. It's less cluttered. I like it, yeah. They also, where you need the information, there is more information. Where you don't need it, it's gone. So that's a good thing. They added the lock button. So if we click on that, the first piece we have is our, oh, very important, you can now drag them around wherever you want. So if we look at the old one, you could already drag them around, but only in their own column. Like I could reorder motherboard and tower. Like that. But I couldn't be like, hey, I want my tower in the middle. It just won't let me do that. And I think, for example, it would look nice to have my tower information in the middle column. So there we go. Then you lock it and it's there. So very nice change. Very responsive. Also, I just figured that out over here. So if I drag that down, it's not snapping the way that I want. And if I move it back, see, it's clearly showing above motherboard, but it's not jumping there. I actually have to drag motherboard down on the 6.11. On the 6.12, it's like plop and it's there. It's really responsive. It does what it's showing. And you can put anything basically anywhere. So very nice feature. Not sure how much you will be using it, since best case you don't ever get on your Unraid dashboard, I think. That's my belief at least. You set up monitoring scripts in case something goes wrong, and you try not to be in here. But if you like dashboards, very nice change, very good change. Yeah. There's also the configuration button up here. This will show you, because you can also remove them. You can be like, hey, my motherboard, that's never going to change. I don't need that information. It's taking up space. You can remove it here, but now it's gone. So the blue button, you can just put it back, or you can remove all the ones as you want. Okay, so that's nice. You won't miss out on anything. You can always update, you can remove. That's a good thing. Now they also added the little setting buttons. They were always there, okay. And they still take you to the same place. For motherboard, it wasn't so. For the motherboard, we only had the information button. And we still only have information. Processor, was there a button for the processor? There was, so you could set your pinning up. And that's still the same. Okay, let's go to memory. Actually, one thing I noticed, and we'll get into that in a later patch note, they changed how Unraid is booting, and 6.12 is booting faster in my opinion. I didn't really time it, because I wasn't expecting anything, but it felt like it was booted way faster, more testing will be needed. But look at the memory size. Both virtual machines are the same. This is even running the additional ZFS pool, and it's on 18% compared to the 35% of the 6.15. So it's way better on your memory. That's good. Lower requirements for our system. Yeah, network interface also with the configuration button. That's going to be the same. Docker container, virtual machine, and the shares and the user. I guess we have the same things over here exactly. And here it will show us our parity is valid with the information when the last update was, the last check, and if it found any errors. And well, basically parity information with the array, the cache, and unassigned devices, but also my ZFS pool. I think I made a mistake by calling it CFS, because now it looks like it will be like this is array, this is cache. I think these are just the name of the pools and not so much the file system or what they be used for. Let's have a look if I can rename the ZFS pool to something else. And if it would update or keep it under the ZFS header. Because in the end it said like ZFS pools support pool renaming. So let's have a look if I can rename a pool. Test rename done. And there it is. Yeah, it did rename it. Now if I start this up, where do we go? And what will it show on my dashboard? For some reason it's showing on the top now. Maybe not where I would want it, but we can just put it wherever we want. And as I expected, these are just the names of the pool that we created. And because I was using cache and ZFS, it was showing in that way. And it's not related to the file system on there. Can I further configure this? No. Okay, maybe I wanted to see that this is a ZFS pool, showing me what type of system it is. Maybe I should post about that on the forums for 6.13. Anyway, let's move on. So we covered the drag and drops. There's also auto trim for ButterFS and XFS. There are updates to Docker and how it accepts a new format. I think that's just a general Docker change. Virtual machines we will be able to copy and paste if you install additional software. I'm not sure if that's only for the virtual machine or also on the host that you're using. It says on both additional on the client and the agent. So I'm not a big fan of that. If I'm going to install additional things, I might just install a VNC client and go in that way. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's good that the option is there, but I don't see the real use for that. Let's have a look at release candidate 2. I think that's a very small one. It's bug fixes, kernel, and package updates. Basically, make a backup. This is what we fixed. Scheduling for ZFS trimming. Renamed the button so it's correctly labeled. And information to upgrade. Not a lot of stuff to see here. Just making sure that everything that's there is working in a correct state. RC3 is, if I believe, the first one that really got public, that they posted about. That's why you see a lot of buttons here with a lot of information. But yeah, it's basically covering the same thing. CFS pools, we went over that. The upgrade notes, that's just how you upgrade in every post. The Docker, the updates for Docker, and how you can put your Docker directory on ZFS storage now. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's the same as it used to be. You can just set the pool of the ZFS there. Virtual machine about the copy and paste. I just covered that. You need software on your client. If I need software on my client, I go with a full-fledged VNC client instead of just software, but whatever. Butterware VES pools support auto trim. Yeah, that's good. You can also set the compression on and off with more compression algorithms coming. CFS has auto trim. That's good. The dashboard is redesigned. We covered that. Release BZ file changes. That's what I just covered. So the way that Unraid boots up, it's using BZ files, images, to start everything up. And the way that they changed it, it makes 6.12 a lot faster. At least to my feeling. And yeah, as I say, it will free up nearly 1 gigabyte of memory. And that's where this, where was it? 18 to 35%. So that's 15% of 4 gigabyte. Not really close, exactly a gigabyte, but yeah, close enough for me to accept that. For the rest, it's just information, technical information. Obsolete broken plugins, so the stuff that you really should remove before upgrading. Let's hope they actually get fixed before the stable version comes out. Might be the reason that it's taking so long for stable to get released as well. And other changes, let's have a look. So that's relabeling. The Docker Hub is being removed and it's renamed to Registry, because there's more registries now. It used to be Docker Hub and that's it. I think this is the GitHub, I'm not sure. But there's more places to get your Docker containers from now. And it's a good thing that they generalized it now. Apparently some stop timeouts were not working and they should be working correctly now. This was also for Docker. I find that weird that they actually have a full Docker post here. And then under more changes, there's basically 2 Docker changes. Add an option to disable read more JS on the container table. Sure. And another Docker thing. So these shouldn't be in more other changes. These should be in Docker in my opinion, but that's okay. It's just an RC node. I can handle it. Now RC4 is actually the one that I like the most, because they changed the conceptual change in the way storage is assigned. So if we go have a look at the 6.11.5 and we go to create a share and we add a share, we can give it a name like test, and it will always go to our array. And then we can say like, I do want a cache or I don't. The options are yes, meaning new files will be created on the cache and mover will put them on the array. Prefer, meaning new files will go to the cache if there is room and else it will go to the array. But if there is space on the cache, mover will put it back on the cache and keep as much as it can on the cache. And then there's only to only have it on the cache. Basically making a folder on our array that never gets used because we only use the cache share. why you use this. Like the default is already there, of course. There's the app data. Because of how I have it set up, this should be to only be on the cache app data. Like that. That would be the correct app data setup. And here you can already see, like, if it's only on the cache, why do I have an app data on my array disks? And I can show you this if we go to the command line. cd mnt user. Oh no, not a user. cd disk 1. You can see there is an app data folder. But if we go to where is my cache even? Why is my cache not showing in here? That's a bit bizarre, because I do have the cache pool. Oh, of course. It's not showing because it's not formatted. There we go. So as you can see, now we have the MNT cache disk. And I'll probably have to go back to the share app data. And save it so that it's only on the cache. It's not yet created. Anyway, the point that I was making is, why do I even have app data on disk 1 if I only need it to be on my cache disk? So with the changes in 6.12, if we go to a share and we go to app data, there is no more the way it was at the moment. We have primary storage now and secondary. So the way you have to think about this is, where will files go? If I create a new file, it will store it in, currently set as array. So I'm going to set it into cache. So my app data is going to cache now. Do I want the secondary storage? So what happens if my primary storage is full? Do I want it to move? No, I want my app data to only be onto the cache. So I don't pick a secondary storage. Now, for now, you can only pick the array here. I guess in 6.13, they're gonna make it so you can pick your ZFS pools in here as well. Because as you can see, we have the ZFS pool set up. There is one. And if we go to share, we can actually pick it as our primary, the test. but we can't pick it as secondary. So in this case, what we would do is we put app data on the cache and no secondary storage, apply. And there we go. App data is now cache only. I would have liked that I was able to change this. Oh, it's because minimum free space. If we remove this option and apply, it should become an exclusive access file. I was hoping. What happens if I do this? Because I actually want my app data to be exclusive access. When set to yes, indicates that bind mount directory. Oh, okay, so it's messing up because the folder does exist. So what I have to do is I have to put this to none. But then I also have to remove the app data from our disk. And let's go also to disk 2, see if app data, nope, no app data there. But normally if we go into, oh, now my entire app data is gone. So let's quickly recreate that one. I only want to be in the cache and add share. And now it does show as exclusive access. Exclusive access means that there will be no overlaying done and the access should be way faster than when it's not exclusive. So yeah, if you do cache prefer or cache only, yeah, the cache only, not the prefer, on your current system, you should actually make sure that it says exclusive access on 6.12. So there we go. Now the reason I'm so hyped about this is what I'm currently doing on my main system is I do have a share, and that's called CCTV, where I'm using a cache pool with only for my CCTV actually. And that's slowing down because of the overlay and everything, I believe. Anyway, it's not needed that it thinks that it has to go at some point to the array and that there is an array folder for my CCTV. So in 6.12 we can just like add a share. We call it CCTV. We tell it like here, that's your ZFS pool, which is even better than the current cache pools. That's why I said like I will be touching on ZFS. I won't be fully using it until 6.13 with the full release, but it's still useful. So I will have a ZFS pool for my CCTV. I'll add a share and it should be exclusive access. It should be fast. It should not interfere with my array. It should not ask any performance from my system. It's just there and it does its thing. And it's really its own pool. So that's one of the changes I'm more excited about than ZFS by itself, personally. Anyway, that's the information what they are saying here. So, oh, I forgot to show if you actually have a secondary. This is, so now it's set up to first new data, write it to the test pool or the ZFS pool that I created. Then it says like mover will use the array. And then you can say test to array. That's the current yes way. Or you can say array to test. That's the current prefer way. So if we go back here, you can see yes, move a transfer file from cache to the array. So this is yes, from cache to the array. And prefer move a transfer files from the array to the cache file. That's the other way around. Yeah, and then if you go cache only, that's the one where you just don't have a secondary storage pool. And if you don't want to use a cache, you just put the array here. And that's like having cache set to no in the old system to have a quick comparison. Let's continue with our reading. What else changed that we covered? So the mover action and the exclusive share, we went over that as well. And then the information again, you have to back up how you can upgrade even from the very old version. Sorry, I'm really impressed by that. And then all the new versions of software that they are using and the bug fixes. So yeah, RC5, not a lot of info in there. It's basically a big post like, hey, we have a big one. We expect it to be stable soon. Here are some bug fixes. It's nice, but again, it should have been working. Not going to read those. It's good that they are working. If you find a bug, make sure that it's fixed or not. And the information to update again. So yeah, that's my quick overview of the RCs. I think you like that I had the two next to each other. Sorry, it took me quite a bit of time to figure out the exclusive thing. So exclusive for this exclusive access, again, is for when you had your thing set to only in the past. The reason why it didn't swap over for the appdata was because the appdata folder was still on my array as well. And that one had to be cleaned up first because it was thinking that it would still go to the array with the folder being there. Creating a new folder, setting it without any array, just like the test, and no secondary storage, no mover. It went on to exclusive immediately. Very useful for, as I said, the default shares that are available, like appdata, like your domains for virtual machines, like your system. So those are things that really could benefit from being on cache only, or the way it's currently cache only, but being with a primary of only cache, no secondary, and being exclusive access would speed things up a lot. My example was my CCTV share. That would be speed a lot faster with that. Another thing is like your temporary downloads share. You could use it for maybe make a specific CFS pool for secondary backups, like a pool with 1 disk and 3 parities in CFS for additional backup on your old disks that you won't be using or something like that. A lot of things to do, a lot of things to experiment, a lot of things to have fun with. And yeah, I'm really happy about this change. This is the one that I'm most excited about. And CFS is a 6.13 thing for me, I believe. Anyway, enjoy. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.